Hey guys, it's the Instructionist. I'm gonna do a quick video on Saturnian lessons. So I am 30 now. I'm basically in the full swing of Saturn return. I mean, essentially my Saturn has returned. And I just want to do some like quick reflections on it. You know how there be like 30 things I learned at 30. No, I'm not gonna do that. The main thing, drum roll, that I learned. Sorry, all these people's medical business out there. Um, the main thing that I learned or accepted, not really learned, accepted and acknowledged was that I won't be here forever. And that has given me a new sense of purpose to just do the things that I want to do. So, yeah, that's basically kind of what I've come to the conclusion of. Um, that because I get this finite amount of time and I don't know how long it is. It could be, 31 years, it could be 120 years, it could be 80 years, it could be 40 years, it could be 30 years, I could be at the end of the road. So because I don't know any of that, I'm gonna live as best as I can today, now, and not necessarily like living for today, escaping like long-term planning, but I do have this idea of long-term planning, but I'm not gonna miss out on things that I want to do anymore. And I think what's really changed my perception of that also is getting older, being around older people, watching their friends like pass away and like mortality, and them having to face mortality of like their generation is kind of going away. Um, but also working at a job where I personally just don't care too much. And what I mean by that is, day in and day out, I'm dealing with people who potentially could be violent, verbally abusive, physically abusive, and I kind of just ask myself after an emotional outburst at work, do I want to deal with this like long term? And the answer is no. I am seeking my licensure for massage therapy, so essentially, once that's done, I'm just, I'll be moving to something different anyway. But I made the decision that I'm just gonna live my life and have fun because this is the first year in a really long time that I've actually taken off on my birthday. Usually I work on my birthday. For the last however many years, I've worked on my birthday. I've always felt like, oh, I can't let the team down and blah, blah, blah. This year I was like, fuck that shit. Because I knew I didn't have anything like major planned for my birthday. I just kind of wanted to rest and be left alone. And that worked. So, this shit worked. So, that's what I did. I just rested. I just ate. I just talked to people, and that was that. Like, there was no big celebration. I didn't go out to eat. I didn't do anything like that. But I have a determination now to spend my money on like experiences and stuff like that, and less of coping mechanisms also, which would be like food in a major way. I am becoming more concerned with what I eat, mainly because I have like health issues that like get worse if you let it be like uncontrolled. So, there's that. Other things would just include me wanting to go forward with all of the things that I want to intellectually pursue. So, one of the things, like I just mentioned, going out, having fun, interacting with people, but the intellectual pursuits and those things that I want to do, I am open to actually investing in myself enough to do those things. I'm also interested in very tactile things, so like textile design and planting things, and like getting my hands like very active in the production of this whatever thing that I'm working on. I just want to be more active. I feel like I am interested in being more active, even as I've become very aware that my body has like a lot of limitations. I am more attuned with my body and what it needs. I'm more attuned with like my cycle. So that allows me to kind of like emotionally track myself. I'm more attuned with um, things that just make me like happier, and I just want to do shit that makes me happier, and some of the stuff that I'm doing isn't making me happy anymore. So I'm very happy to cut it out, work on a plan to eliminate it, because long term it just isn't going to go anywhere for me. And so yeah, so I have a few things that I'm going to try and plan out, right? I'm going to try and plan out for the summer that I can do and start really going hard for the stuff that I want, because it's not a fear thing, but it is like an acknowledgement of a clock that's running out. You know, with the little sand is like that. Like once that's done, it's done, and I won't be able to get that time back. And so I've been kind of thinking like, you know, what am I putting energy into and what am I getting back from it? Is it even, you know, it's never comparable to the time that you've lost, because you never get that back, you know what I'm saying? But is it bringing some sort of reward that I feel like compounds the longer I live? And it's not necessarily monetarily, it's just like emotionally, psychologically, physically. Are these yields, so to speak, very are they going to be good reserves for later? And so I guess Saturnian stuff is kind of making you realize your mentality and to get real about things, and the impermanence of things, but also you do still need to maintain something on the earth plane. As far as your like basic survival, you need to not pursue just etheric kind of discussions that keep you like up here. You need to do things that are very practical and very much rooted in being here. Like I said, Saturn in Pisces is one of those things where people avoid completing things, they avoid going through with things, they avoid different things because they have to deal with the real reality and the real results of having gone through the experience, and knowing that you cannot go back and change that experience. You have to deal with the full reality of what has happened, right? Like the full reality of going for a relationship, the full reality, it's a lesson in vulnerability, essentially. The full reality of starting a business or writing something or asking someone out, or uncovering your ancestry, or doing like just things that it would push your bounds, you know what I'm saying? It would push your bounds. And so that's where I am right now, and I'm really happy about that. So yeah, 30 has been pretty decent. I'm also just not tolerant of like, I just am not tolerant of incompetence now, I think, more and more, just because it's not like I'm becoming like a straight Karen or a straight bitch, but I'm just kind of like, I just don't like stuff like that anymore. I'm not willing to be like gray area. I'm more like a black or white. Like if I need something done, I need it done. There's no real getting around that. It needs to be done, and being more direct, honest, assertive with what I need, even though people would think it's aggressive, it's actually a form of vulnerability, because you don't necessarily have to give me what I'm asking for, but then I can make the decision to whether or not I stay in that sort of dynamic, right? And that's just with anything. I've started to kind of notice that in like my insurance, like the places that I go to get certain services, the foods that I buy, like going to certain places and people just acting like they don't want to be there, and they don't want to, you know. I did a video on this Pluto, it's a Plutonian video, and I was like the energetics of success, I think it's called. It's way back, it's like a year and a half ago or something like that. But basically choosing everything that kind of vibrates at the level of where you're at, like truly. And when you go somewhere and you just really feel like this shit is off, just like being able to like walk away. And that's a good thing, to be able to have some sort of dignity in walking away. I need to do a video on Venus also. I think it's aspecting in my like natal chart. Like I feel like Uranus is hovering over my Venus because I've had a lot of like Venusian type experiences lately. So I just want to explore that. But the main word that comes through for Venus is dignity, and I have Pluto oppose my Venus, and so dignity and power and how well that goes, right? And dynamics and stuff like that. So these are the things that are kind of like occupying my time. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's kind of just some reflections. It's not really anything kind of teaching or informing, or it's just kind of me talking. So yeah, okay, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.